Now, Dr. Johnny Bloomfield talks to us about healthy habits, and we're going from some of the other advice that he's given us in the past about our consumption of water, about our activity, to listening to our gut, apparently, Johnny. It's like the ad on the TV. Are you listening to your gut? Should we be?
Yeah. Good morning, Frank. Nice to talk again. Yes. Your gut is a home to an entire community of helpful little friends that we carry about. They do an awful lot for us. Our gut bacteria are good ones.
So
we need to look after them.
Yeah. How do we get the best out of them?
Well, it's really what we eat is the most important thing. You know, we should be feeding our gut bacteria with good, nourishing food. Ideally, food that's got plenty of fiber in it, because these guys break down that fiber and help us use it. And so we're going to get fiber from fruit and vegetables. So your mum was right when she said you got to eat your 5 portions of fruit and veg every day.
So, do you get a sense that people are listening to this message or not? Because it is a bit of a mantra, you know, you got to do this and you got to do that. You know, do people generally listen? Do they want to listen?
Yeah, I think there is a community out there that are listening very, very strongly. You know, they've taken their diets really seriously in the last number of years. You know, we see lots more people emerging as vegans, and of course, this is an entirely plant-based diet, which is going to be very, very good for your gut health. Then, but we have seen people taking extra care in their shopping baskets around what's in their food and the quality of their produce, and hopefully we see more people actually buying locally as well, going to the local greengrocer or butcher to get their produce, because locally sourced is even better for us. But yeah, we really have to be looking out for going beyond even the line of 5 fruit and veg a day. It's trying to think of eat a rainbow, and we need to make sure that we've got plenty of natural colours in front of us. So the recommended diet that most doctors on the planet would be advocating would be the Mediterranean diet, which if you imagine a plate full of food, if you sat down on the south coast of France or somewhere in Italy, maybe, you'd see lots of greens and reds and oranges and even purples on your plate. Lots of real food, whole food. And that's what the guys downstairs are going to love when it comes that way.
So let's get your tomatoes and your beetroots and your lettuce, and I'm trying to pick out my palette here for greens, for purples, and for reds.
Absolutely, it's those foods that are rich in fiber and a compound known as polyphenols. So that's what our gut bacteria love. So generally, eat more fruit and vegetables, but then also you can pick off nuts and seeds. So obviously, if you've got a nut allergy, I would avoid them. But seeds like chia seeds, pumpkin seeds, hemp seeds, sunflower seeds, sesame street seeds, they're good to have in the kitchen just to sprinkle on top of a salad or on top of porridge. Speaking of porridge is great for it's one of your whole grains, oats. But you might want to pack out your evening meals with something like bulgur or quinoa or buckwheat. These are all fancy terms that most people are getting a bit more familiar with. Maybe more familiar you would get are your legumes. So these are your peas and your beans and your lentils. So these are another great source of fiber for us. And we should be trying to pack our diet with all these natural fruits or foods that ideally fruits and vegetables.
And just finally, what about those yogurts that they advertise? Yakult, I think, is one, Yakult or some name along that line. It seems to be one of the main premier brands, but there are others. The like of that, is that good for you, or is it easy to consume? It looks horrible to me.
Well, so we have something we should be considering is we have prebiotics and probiotics. So prebiotics are all the foods that I've been mentioning. So it's the food that we eat that then the good bacteria in your gut feed on to help us. So they're known as prebiotics. Then whenever we need more of those good bacteria, we take probiotics. So that would be the likes of, the fermented foods, or what I find a little bit more consumable is just natural yogurt. It's the food with live bacteria that's in it that helps it give it a taste. But yeah, I find natural yogurt's one of the easiest ones for me to consume.
Yeah, if you can get them down, they're very good for you. I like them. I like them to be sweeter than that. But just one final point: if you put honey in it to give it a bit of bite, is that a good thing or not?
Just about to say, a little drop of honey, just swirl it in, and that'll make it a little bit more palatable. But we've got to watch our sugar intake here as well, Frank. So if we are consuming too much sugar or too much processed food, that's going to feed the bad guys. And it's going to lead to inflammation in the gut. It's going to lead to more risks in terms of picking up the diseases that are linked to inflammation, which aren't very pleasant. So we got to make sure that we reduce those kind of processed foods and cut down a bit on the sweet stuff. No, I'm not saying take it out. I'm just saying be more mindful, be more watchful over what we consume. Have it now and again as a treat, but we need to make sure that the majority of our diet should be coming from all those good things I was talking about earlier on.
It's good advice. Johnny, thank you indeed. Dr. Johnny Bloomfield, thinking about our gut, your gut, my gut, the good guys and the bad guys. And it's important, obviously, to promote the goodies.